Full playthrough of Cold Steel 3. We just finished up the hotel. Learned a little bit about how the Princessa was feeling, Princess Alphine. We're gonna go visit St. Estrella School to visit a separate event, as well as the Calvard Embassy. Just for more story elaboration. Before we kind of fit in our final. Door's locked. Looks like the embassy's closed. Well, basically declared war with them all. You have to accept that diplomatic relations have been severed completely. I wonder if any of the officials still here will be deported as well. Oh, and the clerk. We've really done it. That means the government is serious. And that means we have to be ready for anything. There's nothing left for us. We need to go forth and find our way. Right. Okay. So, telling us a lot right there, you know? Government's taking it all away. Just as Lee said. Lisa and the princess are returning, then they need to prioritize security. It's true. Let's leave them to it. Can we talk to them? Okay. Okay. Alrighty. We're gonna make a quick save here, and we're gonna continue on. Speaking of which, I want to make sure, I hope I updated everyone. Cool. Heimdall Cathedral, and my guys said they wish to speak with us. Probably take a while, so we should take care of any unfinished business. Let's go. Let's go. No one's here? How can this cathedral be completely empty?
So, you've arrived at last.
That sounds like someone familiar. Emma's grandmother. No, Rosine. Okay. You're in the Leaves Chapel. Sister Rosine? I'd heard rumors, but... Wait, so what about Gaius and Emma we're talking about? I was somewhat expecting you to show up here, but your man ejected is different.
Yes, it's good to see you all again. Please, come in. They're waiting for you just over there.
Who? Thomas?
I'm glad you all finally made it.
We knew
The
Thomas
church
would be
has
there.
decided this issue now merits the attention of the Congregation for the Sacraments. As such, the Archbishop and all the staff here have been moved to another location.
Huh? You're... Ah, I get it now. Looks similar to our uniform. What the heck? Huh. You're that former instructor from Thor's main campus, Thomas?
Thank you for all your diligence, Rosine. I'd feel much better if you were to stand watch over the front door now, just in case.
Yes, understood. Leave it to me.
What's that all about? Yeah, it's pretty shocking for us too.
Let me introduce you. This man is a member of the Gralsritter, a division of the Septian Church. He's the second in command, in fact. Thomas Lysander. He holds the seat of Second Dominion and is sometimes known by his title, the Partitioner.
Cool. Get to learn a little bit more about the church. So, if he's Second Dominion, he's like uber powerful then. He can take out like some of the top people in Ouroboros, I would think. Pretty much is where his standing is. And Probably even more so there. But I don't know. Maybe his power is just unique, and he's not like a powerhouse. Kevin was a powerhouse. So I would say he's above him, so it's kind of wild. Huh. And Gaius introducing us sounds like he joined the church in some manner or something like that. Or was gifted something or something. Or he got one of those archaeology ancient artifacts or something like that, or whatever they're called. Yeah. I don't know. Galsritter. They're an armed knight organization surrounded by the church. I'd heard that female terrorist S was once among the ranks. Wait a minute. Guys, does that mean... Are you...
Now allow me to introduce you. This man is one of the Gralsritter's 12 Dominion, the successor to the 8th Dominion, Gaius Warzel.
I took over the 8th spot. What happened? Wait, what? Is that how Ouroboros works too? Like someone leaves or something happens, someone else takes their spot? I think that's how they do it too, huh? But why? Is this why we can get a hold of you for the next events?
A lot happened all at once. After graduating from Thors, I returned to Nord and began observing the struggle between Erebonia and Calvard. However, I began to feel something dark and sinister carried on the winds of the plateaus. I consulted my father and the chief, and eventually my old teacher, Father Barkhorn, came to visit. You might remember the name. He was the traveling priest we chased after during the Civil War.
Oh, no way. Okay, that was the guy that kept on... We were traveling by airship and you couldn't even catch him? That's funny. Huh. Trippy.
But it turns out, he was also the 8th Dominion of the Gralsritter, with the title the Roaring Lion.
The 8th Dominion. The Roaring Lion. Now he's the Roaring Lion. So... Wow, General Bardius could notice his new power or something? That's kind of weird.
He was an extremely skilled knight who investigated the Salt Pale in Northumbria and trained Brigadier General Bardius.
Oh. Okay. Wow. The crazy Salt Pale that happened. Like, covered everything in white in Northumbria. Huh. And basically destroyed their way of life and made them completely poor, where they had to turn into Jaegers to fend for themselves. It's crazy.
Apparently, he was worried and came to Nord to check up on me. He explained to me that what I had been sensing was called the Gale of Ruin. I'm not sure why I'm able to sense it. Maybe it's because I'm a descendant of those who fought alongside the Lionheart Emperor. I mentioned this to him and he came to a realization.
Huh.
But then it happened. A Calvardian ship that broke past the 7th Armored Division attacked my village.
What? Why would a Calvardian ship attack the village?
My father was away at the time. I fought back in an attempt to protect my family, but it was no use. Right as I prepared myself for death, my teacher threw his huge body in the way to protect me. And as he lay there dying, he passed his stigma onto me.
Pretty crazy.
Across the nearly 1,000-year history of the Grolsritter, its highest-ranking members have each borne one of 12 sacred markings. This was one of those markings.
The Roaring Lion. Heard that name many times. Saved many people who were affected by the disaster in Northumbria. Yes, among the current Dominion members, he was the most veteran. Oh! That would make him like a bad man pajama. Who took him out though? Why? And after the stigma was passed to Gaius, I took him to the holy city of Arteria, where he received knight training, hence his half-a-year silence. See, if that was happening, you should have told us. Yeah, we could have helped you. It's okay, everything happened so quick. Did everything I had to do and finish my knight training. Last month, Eustace was finally able to reach me. Power I've received from my master. With it, I will save the Empire. A second home as a member of Class 7. Ah, Gaius. Huh, sheesh. Sheesh. You've always been so grand and reliable. Thank you, guys. Please lend us your strength. Yes, we'll give you my all. Seeing someone like him puts us even under more pressure. Yeah, the gap isn't just in experience or age. This group certainly has become awfully formidable. Not really. Fee, that's so funny. I'm still training just as much as you guys. But ways to go before I reach the heights of my predecessors, and speaking of which...
Grandmother! Stop hiding! Come out already! You're the one who called us here in the first place, aren't you?
Yeah, call them out, girls.
I only hid myself so as not to interrupt your discussion.
Call Granny out. Granny. Vampire, witch, / member of church, which we don't know why. Ah, here, Emma's grandmother. Elder of the Witches, or Seneca, was it?
But you may simply call me Rose. I had you all gather here for one reason. To explain to you the background between the Hexen clan and the church.
See, so that's how it is. Aren't the witches supposed to have church?
It's not as though we don't believe in Adios. There have been some differences in opinion over the years, but we and the church have worked together on a number of occasions.
For example, during the War of the Lions, or the vampire incident in the Middle Ages. Not to mention the fight against the Dark Dragon 800 years ago.
Well, seems like Gaius
All
is
that
getting
was just
fond,
Rose sticking her nose into other people's business.
fond of the witches. Huh? Wait, so you were all involved in that?
Legend has it, Emperor Dreikel's camp was once visited by a good witch. And the novel Red Moon Rose features a vampire hunter affiliated with the church who was, in truth, the true ancestor of the vampires. The woman you now see before you was both of these people, even if she looks a bit different.
How old are you exactly?
800 or so. However, you should know that my situation is somewhat unique. All other witches are normal humans. Except, of course, for the fact that they are all descendants of those who once guarded the Septarian of Fire.
Septarian of Fire. It's the same as the Ariel of Liberl, the great tree of Crossbow. The Septarians, the 7 gifts bestowed on humanity by Adios. Aha! Yes! Those powerful, god gift-giving creatures with powers and all different animal or some kind of spiritual type guys. Said they were all lost during the Great Collapse 1200 years ago. Okay, that's even further back, huh? The things Ouroboros has been trying to get their hands on this entire time. Yep. Yeah, now for the main topic. Now, where to begin? Grandmother, we don't know anything beyond this. Don't leave out any details. Make sure you explain it fully. I second that request. I don't know the details either. Let's see, Roselia, perhaps we should take turns talking. Very well, that will suffice. Sure you've noticed by now, but there's a front and back to this empire. Spirit veins are directly affected by the turbulence of the government and war. That causes cryptids and powerful monsters from other planets to stir. That explains it then. As the Empire's territory spreads, so will they... The Pleroma and the Magic Knights, where did they come from in the first place? Well, to begin, Pleroma is a mana grass from the higher planes. It once served as the eyes and ears of the Septarian of Mirage. Normally it's blue, but incidents in Crossbell... But after the incidents in Crossbell, it all vanished, huh? Now it's like red or pink or whatever. That is until after Crossbell became part of the Empire, at which point it began reappearing in this new scarlet shade. Yep. So, Septarian of Fire. Locations are rather chilling. Change color to match the Infernal Castle, perhaps. There's undoubtedly a connection. As for the Magic Knights, you may have heard before, but they are golems from the Dark Ages. They were created by mages of the Empire to fight against the Divine Knights. During the Civil Wars, something caused them to stir once more, and they now appear in Crossbell via the Spirit Path. No way. That would also explain the increase in incidents with the cryptids recently. Yup. About the Society. Phantasmal Blaze plan. They sought to use Crossbell's false phantasm to awaken the blaze in Erebonia. At least that's what I heard. Seriously? So that's their plan. Where did you hear that? From Daddy. Well, last night I heard it from the Chancellor himself. Tuh. He told me some other intriguing things too, but I feel like he intentionally left out some of the more important details. I see. Heard you talk to him, but seems Ouroboros' work in Crossbell 2 years ago was to bring about some kind of change in Erebonia. Just so you know, Crossbell's Mirage Septarian was an artificially created fake. It was stronger than the original, but the Society had no interest in it. Right to hazard a guess, their goal was to acquire 2 treasures that originally existed here. Septarians of Fire and Earth that once called the land of Erebos home. Septarians of Fire and Earth. So Liberl had the Septarian of Space, Crossbell the Septarian of Mirage, Erebonia had 2 Septarians. Hold on a second. Emma, if the witches are the descendants of the people who guarded the Septarian of Fire, yes, then the Black Workshop and the Gnomes are the same people. Ah. Descendants of those who guarded the Septarian of Earth. They are counterparts. Much like the royal Eluse family of Liberl and the Croix family in Crossbell. In addition, you may be aware that each Septarian has their own holy beast assigned to watch over it. Liberl had an ancient dragon, Crossbell had a divine wolf, and as it had 2 Septarians, Erebonia had 2 holy beasts as well. However, after the Great Collapse, each of them vanished alongside the Septarian they were to oversee. That's the core issue. 2 Septarians, the 2 groups of people who worship them, and the 2 holy beasts. So the Septarians and holy beasts disappeared and people changed their names. It happened in Erebonia 1200 years ago. allow me to reveal to you the truth behind the land of Erebos. The story still relies on a modicum of speculation. Please keep that in mind. Like, we don't know the full truth, but...
This land housed 2 of the Septarian. The Arc Rouge, Septarian of fire and wielder of fierce power.
The Arc Rouge, huh?
The Lost Zem, Septarian of earth and bearer of unyielding endurance. Each assumed the form of a colossal guardian and went about granting boons and performing miracles for its people. For a few centuries, the land of Erebonia prospered. But eventually, its people began to vie for power and control. The Septarians had always granted their people's wishes. But now, their peoples each wished for the other's destruction. And so, the 2 colossi began fighting. Their battle ravaged the earth and split the sky, devastating the entire region. The humans tried to stop them, but it was in vain. The Septarians' fight continued 1,000 days, scorching the land black. When the battle ended at long last, it was a tie. Exhausting their power in one final strike, the 2 Septarian were blown away, left as nothing but empty shells. Yet the tale did not end there.
The power expelled by each Septarian collided and became one, resulting in the creation of an entirely new entity. The Great One, the Septarian of Steel. It was an existence created from the union of fire and earth. It was beyond anything else in this realm. It was the ultimate source of power. Though things seemed fine at first, the survivors of the war soon realized the eternal conflict within it. They knew this conflict would cause it to grow ever more unstable, and that it was not something that could be handled by mankind.
With the Holy Beast's assistance, the Kins of Fire and Earth joined together to see the Great One sealed away. However, each of their attempts ended in failure. Left with no other options, they resorted to their final plan. The Great One would remain whole in the higher plane, yet its physical incarnation in this world split into numerous shards. It was this final gambit that saw disaster averted.
Indeed. Their combined efforts bore fruit. The Kin of Earth created 7 vessels, while the Kin of Fire split the Great One's power and infused each vessel with a part of it.
7 dolls in the form of knights, each bearing the Great One's power, the Divine Knights.
Wow. It's beyond fathomable. Sold this in bits and pieces, but what happened 1,200 years ago? Right? Nuts. Nuts. It's crazy. It wasn't a fairy tale, right? At the very least, something similar happened. So, what happened after that? Why did Valimar and the other Divine Knights start fighting? Right? This is as far as the theory that was passed down goes. Yeah, see, I don't know why Valimar doesn't tell us more of his memories. It's kind of a bummer. Actually, I forgot to see if you could talk to him. I might reload and try that, but I don't think there's really anything we can talk to him about yet. They split the unstable ultimate power into 7, then both sides. Wow, okay. Then both sides decided to watch over the reconstruction after the Great Collapse. Wow. Oh, and by the way, many people from each kinship have since abandoned their roles. Huh. Joined together, started accepting people from their surrounding area, and created the foundation of what became Erebonia. This is around the same time this Septine Church was spreading across Erebonia. Huh. The 100 years passed, and the Arner family established the city of Heimdall. That's when the disaster of the Dark Dragon occurred. Huh. Right?
900 years ago, Heimdall was a small city of only about 50,000 people. However, it was one of the burgeoning centers of culture for the region. The Septine Church had finished construction on the Heimdall Cathedral, and there were plans to develop the city even further. But it was then the Dark Dragon appeared, blanketing Heimdall in miasma and transforming it into a city of the dead. Emperor Astorius chose to lead his people south and made Sainark the new capital of Erebonia.
In helping Emperor Astorius deal with this crisis, the Hexen clan and gnomes each suffered substantial losses. The Hexen clan lost its elder, and the gnomes their holy beast. And so ended their alliance. The final time they spoke would be a century later. It was when Emperor Hector awakened the Vermilion Knight to reclaim Heimdall from the Dark Dragon. He did so at the urging of the chief of the gnomes and the new elder of the Hexen clan, myself. However, the Emperor fell to the Dark Dragon's miasma, and the Vermilion Knight to its curse. The Emperor's son had the chief of the gnomes and myself seal the cursed knight deep below the Imperial Palace. That would be the last act our two clans performed together. I do not know why, but the gnomes cut off contact with our clan and hid themselves away. In the 800 years that followed, whenever war struck Erebonia, a divine knight would enter the stage, demonstrate its might, then vanish. I was certain the gnomes were involved, yet all we could do was guide awakeners on the proper course. This unending pattern reached its most fevered peak 250 years ago during the War of the Lions. The false Emperor Orthros unearthed the cursed Vermilion Knight, and a mercenary under Prince Lucius' employ awakened the Palatinate Knight. Prince Dreichels found the Ashen Knight, and Leanne the Argent Knight. The four awakened at once, made for a grand war indeed.
So that's how it all connects. There's so many parts of the story, but I want to question, but... So Emma's grandmother was around during the War of the Lions, right? A good witch. Read about them in fairy tales. As the prince's guide, accompanied Dreichels' camp. Kind of crazy. I remember those days. I used to be quite the beauty. What I mean to say is that the art depictions of me are not that inaccurate. As stated earlier, the Elder of the Witches isn't a normal human. So you've been watching over the clan after becoming an immortal being? Yes, however, I only came to existence 800 years ago. Wow. It's crazy she's been around that whole time, huh? Absolutely nuts. The predecessors perished soon afterward, and I do not have many memories from beyond that point. So naturally, there are things that I still do not know. But there are things that you do know about, such as how you said the maiden Leanne was the awakener of the Argent Knight, and whether or not she is Ourobort's Steel Maiden. That's true. You could confirm so many things. It is her. Of that much I am certain. She was the daughter of a count who met the wandering prince and later changed the apocalypse only to lose her life. Ooh. However, before that happened, it was I who guided Leanne to become the Argent Awakener. But Leanne knew her powers were too great, so she kept them hidden away. It was only during her battle with the apocalypse that she unleashed her full might. In the end, however, she was fatally injured, passed away after the war. Oof. That's so weird. So Leanne, the Steel Knight, so the Steel Maiden died, and then half a year later, she witnessed her revival? What? Someone that's been living a long time did something. So I don't know if that was 200 years ago or what, but something weird. Because she kept on talking about what happened 200 years ago, what happened 200 years ago with her, so I don't know. Along with your ancestor said, second in command of the Eisenritter. Huh? Ah. So that's why. Muse. Muse's like, oh, yeah, I know history, alright. Were you the one who revived them, grandmother? Yeah, that's what I'd like to know too. After Leanne passed, I thought it strange how her body did not rot. Huh. So I took her body back to the village, and half a year later, she simply woke up. Whoa. 6 months later? 6 months later, she wakes up after dying. Huh. And her body wouldn't deteriorate. Well, I think that might have to do with the powers of the knights again, which I'm hoping not. I don't want to like guess and be right. But there's 7 knights, all right? So Steel Maiden, Reen, Crow. I'm hoping Crow didn't die and then be brought back or something weird. I don't know. I feel like there's got to be like some mana and soul connection thing or something of the rather, or there's got to be something weird going on there, because they don't get back up. They don't like get back up instantly after like dying. Even the Chancellor, I mean, he bled. He kind of died for a little bit and then came back later. I can't remember how much time that was. It could have been between Cold Steel 1 and Cold Steel 2. Could have been like 5 or 6 months or something like that, but just like that. But which would make us think something is going on with Mr. Chancellor too, with all that I'm talking about. And there's 7 nights, so maybe that's a possibility. I don't know. And then, I mean, obviously, Zephyr, our man, died and came back. Fee's dad. Colossal. Okay, I assumed she had become an immortal, though I cannot say when or how. Right? We don't know. Well, she doesn't know if it's like tied to the knights or whatever. Septirian powers. But aren't the gnomes the ones that created the knights or something? So maybe they harness some of the Septirian power? I'm not sure. Or trap the Septirian within them or something like that. It's gotta be something strange like that, because the Septirian were these like crazy things, and then we see the one in Nord and the one in off the island. We see the two ones that like are just hollow shells, empty with nothing in it, and supposedly those were the ones, the fire and earth one that became the steel. So lots of holes. We don't know what's going on. And then there might be other races controlling some of the other stuff, but I guess she said they dispersed. But who knows? Leanne realized what was happening to her. So she left Erebonia to walk the earth without even telling her love, Drycles. Whoa! So she just decided not to, like, let him know that she was immortal. I mean, that is kind of sad, though, so she kind of just left it be. Because he already probably grieved her death, right? She left Legram to Arsed. She did save us, though, so there's something weird about her. She's still righteous and just, it seems like, on some manner. She also has, like, some goal we don't know about, which I hope we can find out. That would be really cool if they, like, tell us later. Maybe we get to fight her or something, I don't know. She left Legram to Arsed, her right-hand man. Occasionally met with her whenever she came around, but the last time was 20 years ago. That's when she met Ouroboros' Grandmaster, who brought her into the fold. Huh. Thank you for sharing this. Some things that can't be overlooked. Yeah, we've seen too many incredible things over the last few months. So the boss and Crow were both revived? I don't know. Maybe there's bodies that were remade in the Black Workshop, like clones of them, like homunculi status, and then they like transfer their essence into them, or spirit, or something that's still attached to the night. I don't know what's going on. We have no idea. This is weird, man. I don't know. It's weird. As I said earlier, we have no idea what specifically happened. I think the key is the Divine Knight. Yeah. The Jaeger King was not an Awakener when he was alive. That's the weird one. Unless he didn't tell anyone and he's just like really good secret keeper. He didn't tell anyone he was an Awakener. Or maybe they forced him to be an Awakener, or... But how would she know? Does she know all of the Awakeners? Because the way she's stating that is like, oh, I know everyone that's awakened any of these guys, you know? I don't know. On the other hand, Dreykels was an Awakener, but he did not become immortal. He has remained dead. I mean, I've been saying this from the beginning, and I don't know why I think it, but there's been too many things looping to it. I mean, I feel like the Chancellor is Dreykels, and it's been like that for a while. I'm just hypothesizing, though. It doesn't make sense logistically. Because I mean he grew through the ranks, and then he ages, which is really weird. You know, he ages. You know, an immortal kind of stays the same age. Look at her. She looks like she's young, but obviously this isn't her normal form. I guess if she loses her power, she becomes young. I don't get what's going on with that stupid trope thing or whatever, but realistically it would make sense, because it seems like all the Awakeners are immortal, and that's why Leanne was probably the first to die. And he probably faked his death so then he could revive again or do something else. I don't know, but something weird's going on with the whole thing. And he married late in his life, the Chancellor. So maybe he just wasn't able to get over Leanne for a long time. Which is because I'm implying that he's Dreykels, or his backstory there. I don't know. We don't know. This is a lot involved here. I'm probably totally wrong, though. I have no idea. Structurine, isn't he immortal? Right, he's been growing since graduating. Yeah, may have some weird powers, but definitely aged. Yeah, and I mean, that's the other thing too. I was gonna bring that up too. I'm like, Rain's aging. He's not like a true immortal, but I don't know if there's a part of him that is immortal in some manner. You know what I mean? We don't know. Hoping we can find out though. And if not, that would be a bummer, but I'm sure the next series will tell us, hopefully. Is there a common reason? So many unanswered questions, like, all the time with this game. Even still, some stuff from Cold Steel 1 and 2 was never answered that should have been answered by now. I believe there are only 2 people to know. The current Chancellor, Gileath Osborne, and the Chief of the Gnomes, Black Alberich. How the hell would they know, and why is she saying that? So that's the leader of the Black Workshop. Yes, though I do not believe he is an immortal like me. The leader of the gnomes is somehow passed down from one to the next. In order for them to achieve their goal of bringing the Great Twilight... What is that? Great Twilight now? First time I've heard of it, but... Is that the fairy tale of the end Vita was talking about? Yes. 800 years ago, as we were going our separate ways, that is what the chief of the gnomes told the prince and me. 800 years ago they were talking about that? It was as if he was foretelling a future where everything ends. Wait, that's too... It's much too similar to the direction the Empire is heading. Huh? Let me add to this. The reason Backhorn and I were in Erebonia was because we discovered an anomaly. Spirit veins were being distorted all over the continent. The source seemed to emanate from the Empire. It's like a ripple effect. Huh. Wow, it's like all over, yeah? It's all over Erebonia. Incidents in Liberl and Crossbell, as well as the Civil War in Erebonia, only served to further increase the distortions. Huh. Continued to get larger after Crossbell and Northumbria were folded into the Empire. And larger again when the cryptids and magic knights of Erebonia appeared in Crossbell. On the other hand, Pleroma grass, which is native to Crossbell, started blooming in the Empire. The Great Twilight really is about to happen, and all of this seems to be an omen of things to come. Eeh. Who is this Alberich person? Uses the masked man as his agent and hired the Jaeger King, who is supposed to be dead. Are there other gnomes out there? That's a good question. Well, your dear rabbit friends may technically count, but... Altina and, why would they count? Because they're created by the gnomes, probably. Besides the masked man, their leader seems to have at least one other acting agent. Huh. Aw, George. Psst, craftsman, come on. And his name has gnome in it anyway, George Gnome. This is a long time coming. And I was really suspicious of George, like, working endless to find out, like, about the Magic Knight and learn more about it and what was going on, or I don't know if he's like tinkering with stuff or adjusting things or doing something weird. It was very suspicious. And then Crow was there too, and then we find out about Crow later, and oh man. All Cold Steel won, but it was all very strange. Very, very, very strange. I cannot say who this person may be, but it would seem they're talented as a craftsman at any rate. Well, before you jump to conclusions, I'm not speaking that little brat Schmidt. It would seem this person I speak of possesses a different kind of genius than he does. Talented craftsman. That sounds... putting some unpleasant ideas in my head. In any event, Alberic and the Chancellor are probably connected. Oh no. Oh no. The gnomes are going to be working with Chancellor Osborne? That's all bad. Well, he was working with Black Workshop, so I guess that is the gnome, so I guess we knew that the whole time. But still, why Huh, I feel like they have different motives, or maybe they're using each other in some way. Maybe there's a mastermind of a mastermind of a mastermind thing. This game's always like that, feels like. It's unlikely to be through the intelligence division or his children. The incidents of last night may have put things in motion. Oh, why do you say that? Last night we finally decoded the black records he found the other day. Oh, and the black records are a collection of a particular type of artifact sometimes found in Erebonia. I was actually exchanging information about them with Rain. Really? When did that happen? Right before all you guys graduated, he revealed his true identity to me. Told me not to tell anyone. Hope you don't hold it against me. Instructor, I mean Father Thomas. Sheesh, probably took advantage of Rain's sense of responsibility, didn't you? I love how Sarah says that, because she'd always pawn everything on Rain. She was taking advantage of him completely too. So, in a like minor way, but it's funny. Well, I can't deny it. In any event, this is what the updated Black Record said.
When the sacrifice is made and the ancient blood flows, the path to the Grawl of Erebos shall open. When the tainted holy beast is pierced by the blade of World's End, and its blood fills the Grawl, the great twilight shall fall upon the land.
Another thing is, I didn't like that we found, it feels like we found, like, most of the Black Records we found kind of, like, in weird places, or, like, dungeons, or something, like, off the beaten path, or whatever. It seems like, I mean, I can't recall every single one that we found in their locations, but as of the recent, it was very strange. It would be out in the open, like, just laying down in, the vacation home thing. You guys know what I'm talking about. That area. For the, Imperial family, starts with the K. That timing's too perfect. I don't like how there's a sacrifice and Altina's with them. That's not good. It says that the prophecies were written about our current situation, but technically the Ash kind of sacrificed the Emperor in a way. There we go. Ancient blood is referring to the Emperor, and is the sacrifice referring to Ash? What about the Grawl and the blade? Grawl is probably related to the Septian Church, the tainted holy beast. But Thomas, could that be? Yes, as was stated earlier, guys. There's a sacred place beneath this cathedral. The Primal Ground, a facility that was designed to play a major role after the Great Collapse. 900 years ago, when Heimdall was shrouded in darkness, it retreated beneath here and disappeared. Heard about such a facility in Liberl? Yes, there's one beneath the Grand Cell Cathedral in Liberl as well. Huh. Are there like multiple holy beasts or something then, or what escaped, or what disappeared? However, when Heimdall was retaken, the space beneath the cathedral was buried in rock. But what if it didn't disappear and it simply transferred somewhere else instead? So it still exists? Holy beast mentioned in the prophecy is like lead the Holy Beast of Earth. As I said before, it disappeared after the disaster 900 years ago. It's only speculation, but I believe the dark dragon you faced the other day was merely a servant of the true Holy Beast. What? Wait a minute. You're saying the dark dragon wasn't the cause of everything? Though it was indeed a powerful cryptid, it was not something the witches and gnomes could not take care of together. The Holy Beast gave birth to the Dark Dragon and is still alive somewhere. Where else could it be put but the primal ground? Oh! All the conditions set forth in lining the prophecy up. Alright, it's gotta be a joke. Regarding this blade of World's End that defeats the Holy Beast. In other scriptures, it is called the Originator Zero. What? I'm speculating that it's a special weapon created by the Black Workshop. Okay. They are good at making weapons. Well, George did make our turn that ore into weapons, and they created the homunculi too, so probably, very least, it probably isn't anything like the boss uses. You think it's made of that Zumerian ore, like the weapons used by Divine Knights? It'd seem most likely. Yeah, right?
Muse?
Is something the matter?
Oh?
You realize something?
Right now, we need any straw we can grasp at.
Anything at all could help, no matter how small.
Yes, you're right. That term. Originator Zero. Could that be OZ, perhaps?
That's what the Black Workshop called Millium and Altina.
Oh, not cool.
They're model numbers.
Not cool, not cool, not cool.
OZ.
Oh, what are you talking about?
So you finally made it.
That voice.
Vita!
Ah, so the prodigal granddaughter returns.
Misty, Vita.
I heard you had been acting on your own. Nice to see you again, grandmother. Emma, Celine, and Class 7 too. And thank you for mediating, Mr. Lysander.
Oh, don't even mention it. It always breaks my heart to see a family torn apart so.
Vita! Why? You really don't plan on ever coming back, do you?
That's correct. As I said before, my allegiance will forever lie with the Grandmaster. I can't return to you and grandmother. I can never go back to the way I used to be. Just like the Steel Maiden.
Seriously, who even is this Grandmaster person? I have no clue. But it is clear she is quite taken with them. So do tell, Vita. If you have not decided to return to us, why show yourself now? Has Ouroboros finally decided upon its course of action?
Yes. After our experiments with the 3 ions, the 6 other Anguis came to a unanimous decision. They decided to ignore my warning. They will work with the Chancellor and the Gnomes to bring about the Great Twilight, completing the Phantasmal Blaze plan.
That's...
So that's how it is. The reason Ouroboros was so quiet the past month wasn't because they left Erebonia.
It was to carry out their plan, and determine whether they should work alongside enemies and traitors.
How can that be? If that were the case, it means...
They're all our enemies?
Is this
Ding, 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 ding.
It's not the cathedral's bell.
It's that bell that they stole.
I think I recognize it from Crossbell.
No.
You do?
Yeah, I'm sure of it. I remember hearing it right before the incidents in Crossbell, when we were still independent. Oh, the one from the museum!
The bell from Stargazer's Tower?
Yup.
But the sound's coming from a different direction than the museum.
The Phantasmal Blaze Plan. What a fitting name. I wonder how much of this she foresaw.
That is quite enough mumbling to yourself. If you know what is going on, show us!
It'll be a bit tough without Grianos. I'll need your help, Grandmother.
Alright, guys, I'm gonna cut it here, and I will see ya on the next.